Hey, wow, hi, Sydney.
Well, hello.
Well, you got your hands full.
Well, yes, my lap is very full right now.
See that? And boy, we got a big show today, don't
Yeah, I'm excited.
we? Yeah, boy, we got yours, and we'll differentiate which one's actually for adoption, right?
Yes.
Good. All right. Um, and boy, I tell you, what a week we've had. Um, and it's been a busy week for everybody. You went down, did an assessment, and
I
a
did.
bunch of dogs went to headquarters.
Yeah, I think 11
Yeah,
or maybe it was 14, but
yes, quite a few.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
because when there's room, they don't get turned away.
yeah,
So, and they're now safe.
they
Well,
are.
now I think we're going to start with Andy. Andy and Indy. He's been on here before, and I'm going to tell you right now, why isn't that boy adopted? He gets along with all people, um, all kids, all animals, but yet here we are. All
Yeah.
right. So, well, he's got a little video to start with. We're just going to start that and we'll bring him up. And he always brings his friends with him. There's quite a few dogs that foster brothers and sisters. Oh, hey. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Wow, we can hear you too. Nice work, Scott. They were having some technical difficulties earlier,
Just a little bit.
and Scott worked his magic and got it fixed. So, which one's Andy?
Andy has the red bandana on.
All right, all right. Why is he not adopted?
I don't know.
Did you want to keep him for yourself?
No, we were supposed to go meet someone yesterday, but they didn't have any other dogs, and he really needs to go to a home that has at least one active dog for him to play with.
Yeah, at least one dog and a grandchild wouldn't hurt either.
And the grandkids, he would be okay without the kids, and he just loves the other dogs.
Right, right.
So he's very active. I mean, it's not showing now, but they're usually really active.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen pictures. One of the I don't think I have it up here though, but there was a video that you had sent me of another dog licking on him.
Yes, that was Tucker. He's sitting up on the couch. You can see him just a little bit of him up on the couch.
Cats do that, not typically dogs.
Yeah, leave it to me to have the odd dog.
How old is he?
I'm going to say he's probably close to 2.
Okay. Now
Not
he's got
sure.
a story behind him. He was on the news, wasn't he? Kind of.
Yes, he was. He came from, I can't remember which county here in Indiana, but it was an abuse case where they had alpacas and chickens, roosters, dogs, a lot of dogs, and he came from that case.
Right.
And everybody that Indy took in has been adopted except for Andy. So I believe Jane took 3 in from that case. There was Andy, Gomer, which we renamed Gordon, and Aunt B. And Andy is the last one to get adopted.
Now you had one of them before Andy, didn't you?
Yes, we had the one that was originally named Gomer,
Mhm.
and we changed his name to Gordon, and he got adopted within like a month.
And that probably because that was a good move, changing his name.
Yes, because they named the dogs after the Andy Griffith show, like Andy, Aunt B.
Right. Is he a couch potato?
Yep, when he's not playing.
He now he's got a little situation that could be scaring people off, huh?
Yes, but after having him, we've had him since June, and you would never know there was anything wrong with him.
And he doesn't know either.
No.
Because he's not in pain.
Right. And they play rough. I've sent you videos with them playing rough. They play so rough they'll tip the couch backwards, jumping around.
Right. And just for the record, she sends me more pictures and video. I got enough video to and pictures to do little promo videos for him for the next year. All right. And I've met Andy, haven't I?
Yes, you have, because we met up at the James
at Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue. I love your pillow that you had made.
Yeah.
Because he does that gives giving your signs a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Wow. Yeah, our pillow, because that's exactly how they lay on the couch, and at the bottom it says Andy, Jasper, and Tucker.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
And that's how they lay over there on the couch. So I thought, well,
wow.
Your pillow is the couch.
Now I've seen video of your grandkids interacting with him and just doing all kind of stuff with him. So we're to assume he does well with children?
Yes. Yep.
And
because the grandkids are 2, 4, and 12, and he doesn't mind them at all.
Okay.
Of course, they know how to treat dogs. They're respectful to them.
That's right.
But my 2-year-old loves to feed them, so she feeds them, and every morning she'll put their bowls down, and she feeds them and follows them around all day.
Right. Hi, Julie. Now, has he ever not gotten along with another animal that you know of?
No, he'll let them know when he's done playing. My son, who has his own house, he has a husky puppy that's probably getting close to a year old, and he is 100% husky, and he is full of it, energy. And when he comes over and plays, every once in a while, Andy will have enough, and he'll put him in his place, and that's the end of it.
Well, yeah, and that's not getting along. That's communication from dog to dog.
Yes.
So, wow, IGPR.org. I don't understand why Andy isn't adopted. He's not even a dog that would require a meet and greet ahead of time, would he?
Probably just to make sure the other dog that he's meeting is going to be okay with Andy.
Right. Now, what breed is he? Because there was some question, and don't you guys think he might be Maremma sheepdog?
That I don't know.
All I did was I read that on his bio.
Okay, I say I haven't read that in a while, so I didn't know what.
How about this? How about he's a purebred good boy?
Yes.
All right. So IGPR.org. You can't do anything unless you apply, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And that's a shame about his meet and greet, because he's just I mean, you guys are missing out here on this dog. Everybody that's viewing, you're missing out on this dog. I got to meet him. I can actually say that honestly. All right.
Yes.
So
And he just needs another dog or two to play with. I mean, he really likes to run and play. And he likes to sleep with, with them, which I showed you pictures of them sleeping.
All right. Sydney, do you have any questions for Brenda or Scott?
Yeah. Do you think that he would be a good, what I like to call a starter peer, for someone who is really interested in the breed, but maybe they haven't owned before? Or do you think that he needs an owner who's experienced in the breed?
I think he would be great for a starter.
Cool. First time peer owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, he's darling.
Thank you.
Isn't he? He's just, and he's even better in person.
Yes. Yep. Especially when they're all playing. It's interesting to watch them all play and interact and run. And you see, there he is sleeping. He likes to sleep next to another dog.
And embrace him.
Yeah.
And another dog in the house is probably going to be a must with him. And you have hardwood floors, and he does well on them.
It took him a while to get used to them.
Okay, but he is used to them. That's only a one-time thing.
Yep.
And how does he do with cats?
He's great with the cat. Doesn't mind the cat at all.
Now, I like that picture too.
Yeah, with his head tilted.
He has a lot of personality, is what this boy has.
Yes.
And whoever adopts him won't regret this adoption at all. So
I don't think so. No.
yeah.
Nope.
IGPR.org. That stands for Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue, correct?
Yep.
All right. Can you stay for the show?
Sure.
All right. We're going to move you off to the side, and we're going to move on to another one. And boy, we got a lot of cool dogs on today, don't we, Sydney?
Yes, we do.
So our next one up is actually related to one of them that you have there, huh?
Yes, I'm excited. It's Fozzy Bear that's gonna
Well,
come.
he has his own little video too. Imagine that.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Hi.
Reagan.
Hi, everyone.
And that's Fozzy Bear.
Yeah, it's Fozzy.
Boy, I'll tell you, that little black dog in that video sure can haul butt, huh?
Yeah, she sure can.
Did anybody ever catch her?
No,
Okay.
not these two. No,
So Greased Lightning was kind of a good description, wasn't it?
it absolutely was. I love that video.
Okay, so Fozzy Bear, wow, isn't he adorable?
He's the cutest.
He still
Fozzy
has
Bear.
some of his helmet head too, doesn't he?
Yep, he does. That's his nickname on the foster
So,
page for sure.
how did you come across Fozzy Bear?
Fozzy and his brother Frosty were dumped on a job at a job site in Eastern Washington, and a friend from middle school called and asked if I could help. And I contacted the shelters out there and found out that this is a daily occurrence in that county. And if we could get him over here, that was the best thing that we could do. And so we got the boys over here, and I reached out because I had never fostered a Great Pyrenees before. And that's how we ended up with the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.
And wow, now there were two of them.
Yep, brothers.
Were they litter mates?
Definitely, yes. They still had their puppy teeth. They were very dependent on each other when they got here.
Okay.
And they were terrified. I mean, they were absolutely, clearly had never been in a house before. Just, you know.
Pretty unsocialized.
So unsocialized, yes.
But that doesn't look like that to me.
No, not anymore.
Now, but you don't have his brother anymore.
They don't. They were kind of becoming teenage, terrorists, for lack of a better term.
Terrorist? Is that what you said?
Yes, sorry. They were creating quite the chaotic duo. And since we've separated them, and Frost has gone to Sydney, he's really, the one-on-one interaction has gotten so much better. He's paying a lot of attention to his people now.
And another one of the reasons that rescues will separate them is because they have a tendency of becoming too reliant on each other. And that kind of leaves the human equation at a little lower on the totem pole here. So we don't want that to happen. But now how old are they?
We're thinking roughly just over 7 months. They still have their puppy teeth when they came to us on November 9th.
Okay. All right. And how old are they when they usually lose those? I don't remember.
About 5.5 months,
Okay.
5.5, 6 months.
All right. Well, you got some good action shots and some good still shots. But my
It was-
favorite picture, which caught my attention to both of them early on, was that one.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
That looks like a painting.
It does.
And they're just adorable. But now, what kind of home do you think he would need?
He would do well in a home with other dogs for sure. He definitely loves other dogs. He's never met a dog stranger. And he needs a loving home that will just understand that he's a puppy, but he has the kindest, most gentle personality ever.
Right.
And he's a big goofball.
And he's crate trained.
He is. He's
Did
crate
he
trained.
crate train himself, or did you have to lend a hand?
I loaned a hand, but it really, when they first came in, and I always find this important with any type of dog, it gave them a sense of security. And we had their crates side by side so that they, could have each other right next to each other. And that really helped. And
That
so
does work. That works out very well.
yes. And sometimes he even puts himself in his crate when he's tired.
Right. So these two didn't originate from Texas. They originated right there in Washington, huh?
Eastern Washington, correct.
Okay. Wow.
Now their brother or their sister Poppy, she did originate from Texas. That's the black one.
All right. There's that helmet head, huh?
Mhm.
What about cats?
Unfortunately, we don't have a cat, so we have not done any testing. But we do have bunnies and stuff out in the yard. They've shown no interest in anything. No prey drive that I've seen at all.
Cool. And I think I remember you saying you've seen zero aggression out of him.
Nothing.
And,
Not a piece. No,
Wow.
absolutely not. The most
And-
innocent dog I've ever met.
and that's amazing. And that's just awesome because his personality is going to stay that way. So
Yeah.
and get better. So All right. So what kind of, well, I already asked you that. Well, no, I didn't. What kind of home do you think you'd need? I get confused. We said another dog on.
Definitely another dog because he
Okay.
really likes having his buddies.
Okay.
But he also really likes his people. And he's not prone to wanting to leave the yard. He really wants to know kind of where his people and his pack are at.
Okay.
He loves being inside. His recall is wonderful. So
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Say that again. Did I hear that wrong?
his recall is wonderful.
Are
Wonderful.
you sure that's a Pyrenees, or is that the best disguise we've ever seen?
That's well, I think that maybe Sydney, who has Frost, can elaborate on that. They're both, very good with recall. At least they were here. So
We're gonna touch on that definitely here in a couple minutes when we start doing Frosty, because you had Frosty first,
I did.
and so Sydney is going to be able to tell us how he's doing in a different home, and then maybe compare notes. Maybe not. It may be totally irrelevant. He may be doing better than Fozzy even. You never know. So, because she has Artemis. Don't ever forget Artemis.
Oh,
And
yes.
and Samson. So wow. Now, what about kids? Have they been around kids?
Not tiny kids. Teenage or younger, let's say like 10, 11.
Mhm.
He's really unfazed. I mean, he just
Okay.
when they first came here, they were terrified of their own shadows.
Mhm.
And since I really think having a confident dog around to show
Poppy.
them the ropes has been really important in drawing them out of their shells
Awesome.
and helping them learn that, we're not scary. Brushing was a terrifying concept. Leash was a terrifying concept. And instead of trying to flee, they would just shut down and pancake to the ground.
Gotcha.
So,
Now that's back when both of them were there.
when
What
they
were they
first got
looking at? What was over there?
We should. Start playing.
It's hard to say.
I'm not sure. It was very difficult for me to get any good still photos of the two of them.
Could that have something to do with being puppies?
Yes, they were basically a blur.
And
Uh,
you have dogs of different sizes at your home, right? You have
I
some
do, correct.
dogs.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how does he do with dogs of kind of that are smaller than him?
He's fine around smaller dogs. I would just say, remember, he's a puppy. So a tiny dog that is more fragile, maybe not so much. But as far as him having ill intent, never.
Yeah, but he still needs a big playmate to get the wiggles out.
He loves to do the zoomies. Clearly, they're not quite as fast as Poppy's, but yes, he does.
Yeah,
like
no
to
kidding.
out.
I don't think I've seen a dog that fast short of a greyhound lately.
Oh, she's something else.
And
She's a really good puppy trainer.
and then if she wants to be caught, she lets them catch her, right?
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. In
Because I
fact,
think,
sometimes she's the instigator.
She's off the ground in that picture.
She is. Yeah,
It's amazing how agile they can be, huh?
that's right.
So, Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. They are available for adoption now. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's where you go. Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org.
Thanks,
All right. That being said, we're gonna move up to Frosty and let's compare notes.
Thank you.
All right. So he also has his own little video, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it like this. So how about we play his video first? What do you think, Sydney?
Yes, let's do it.
And that'll give us something to start with, right?
Yes.
Wow. And, which one's Frosty Bear?
Frosty Bear is this fellow right here. Here we go. I took them for a walk before the show. So after walk is nap time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he doesn't seem to look a lot like Fozzy, does he?
No. So Fozzy Bear is definitely the classic looking Pyrenees, hair helmet, poofy fur. But Frosty Bear has shorter coat. It's a little bit sleeker, and he's definitely his fur is really easy to care for. He probably wouldn't need to be brushed every day, like some of the really fluffy Pyrenees. So he definitely is. The two of them are definitely different looking.
Well, Debbie says they're all adorable.
Yes, they are.
That includes Andy, Fozzy, and Frosty. So, now, let me bring up a picture from Reagan's, and I see something that, well, I could be wrong, but let me find it here real quick. There it is. Not that one. Can't see nothing on that one. Anyway, I think their mix could be Akbash.
I think the same thing. Of course, I don't know because I haven't done a DNA test, but
right.
He has kind of a wedge head,
The bone
and
structure.
yeah. So I see a lot of similarities.
And that little curl at the tip of their tail.
Yep.
That's consistent primarily with just two breeds, the Maremma and the Akbash. So I think Frosty looks more Akbash.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter. They're all good boys.
Yeah. And they're all livestock guardian breeds and they have some similarities. But he does have that, like Reagan mentioned, he does have recall. And
Here we go again with that R word.
Yeah, he has a very big bark.
Really?
Yeah, so sometimes he's out in the backyard hanging out and barking at, telling the bad guys to go away. And so I will whistle, and he's learning to come in the house when I whistle.
Wow. So that's the big boy bark. Wow. What about Fozzy? Does Fozzy have a big boy bark too, Reagan?
He does, not quite as big as Frosty's though.
Okay. Wow.
And his is, I would say that Frost is more of an alert barker, whereas Frosty is more of a, why are you out of the room and I'm in my crate? This is unfair barker.
And what about Andy? Is Andy a big, deep bark?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
he can't ever get an inchword in with Tucker. Tucker's my barker.
Okay. Wow. So now, what can you tell us about Mr. Andy that's new that maybe Reagan would say, really? That's Frosty.
For Frosty Bear? Yeah. Well, he, when you separate litter mates, you get a chance to see them as individuals. So Reagan and Jamie cared for these two puppies for over 2 months, and that's a huge investment. And so when Frosty came, he was like, he needs to be around other dogs. He was very respectful of mine. He was definitely very cautious because it was a new environment. But I got to meet him out in the backyard, and actually he was pretty relaxed. He gave me lots of kisses, and he's definitely a puppy who is not afraid to give you kisses if he likes you. My dog's included. He'll clean Samson's ears sometimes. And he is definitely lower energy for a puppy. And he's great at entertaining himself with toys. So my two dogs are seniors, so they don't really play anymore. But the value of him being in a pack with these guys is they've had a lot of foster dogs around, and they're good at helping foster puppies learn expectations and rules. on a really special layer or level that I can't touch. And so
that's the mentoring.
yeah, so he's learning that, and he's learning to be respectful of the hierarchy of dogs, and when to be mellow and when to play. And so he is great, honestly, about entertaining himself, and he doesn't pester the other dogs. Like if sometimes when I have puppy fosters, they try to play with anybody all the time, and Frosty is not like that. He's like, hey, I can tell they don't want to play, so I'm just gonna play over here with all my toys.
And we saw that.
Yeah, yeah. He also is very timid on the leash, so he's learning how to do pack walks.
Oh, really?
So, and Reagan mentioned that they were scared of the leash, so I am helping him learn that it's okay to have a harness put on. It's okay to have a leash put on, because I live in the city and I have lots of great places to go for a walk, and I take the dogs all together. So we do big pack walks, because again, the puppies learn from the older dogs about what the expectations are on a walk too. It definitely is a handful, but it's really valuable to them learning, especially because he's going to go to a home with another dog. So for him to build those skills on a leash is helpful. And Reagan and Jamie got him to the point where he was comfortable in a home. So every foster that, has a chance to really pour into these puppies and help them gain, that's where he gained his social skills. So they handed the baton to me. So it's my turn to get to invest in him. And he's super, super sweet.
Now I'm going to change it just for a second. Sharon had asked a question in the comments. We're going to get to this, Sharon. No problem. We'll have time. But we're going to finish up with Frosty and Fozzy first. Now, you apparently had a similar problem that Reagan had on getting pictures that you wanted, right?
Yes.
So between the two of you, we've gotten some pretty good pictures. But puppies are hard, especially when they go that fast.
Yes, they are.
That was a very good action shot on Reagan's part. But anybody that has puppies totally understand this part. Okay. So now, Reagan, did you hear anything that was different from you? Everything should be somewhat different because it's a whole different home. And this is the next phase of his life.
I'm loving that he's going on those walks. That's something that we're not really set up for here as far as my neighborhood. There are a lot of loose, unpredictable dogs, and we've just had a lot going on. And now with the one-on-one, like you said, he's being much more receptive to new things. He, in fact, slept in bed with us 2 times now without being a total fidget butt. And
so everybody got a little bit of sleep then.
Everybody got some sleep, yeah. And I mean, slept through the night and didn't try to play constantly, which is what these two were doing together. There was no off button when they were together. So
okay.
Yeah, and Jamie had mentioned that Frosty would grumble when he would be put to bed in his crate for a little bit until he knew it was time to go to bed. I think does that still happen?
He'd go,
well, see,
it was a quiet displeasure.
and let me tell you what else. I'm going to make you big for a second. Let me tell you what else had to have been Fozzy and maybe Frosty involved in this. Aren't you going to have a big day sometime in the future here?
Uh-oh. We got engaged. Jamie and I are engaged.
And that was Frosty and Fozzy's doing, right, Jamie?
Yes. Yeah. It definitely was.
So they got engaged, and just so happens that was with Frosty and Fozzy there. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Fozzy blessed the wedding ring,
Yes.
the engagement ring.
All right.
Along with Poppy.
Okay, and this is amazing. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Didn't mean to embarrass anybody. Like,
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. We're gonna let Poppy out so you can see the two of them playing in the background.
oh, okay. Let's make you bigger then. And there's Miss Poppy.
Hi, my girl.
That's the Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
She's got. Does she have the same longevity and energy?
What's that?
Does Poppy have a lot of energy that lasts a long time?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So perfect match as a mentor for Fozzy.
Very much so. Yeah.
Good.
And like Sydney touched on, they like to run and play, and then they like to sack out. So it's a definitely medium to lower energy as far as the daily needs go.
Are we seeing both of them liking Dad best?
Right now, yes.
And what about Andy? Does Andy like Dad best?
I think he likes us both the same.
Okay, that's fair. That's a
Yeah.
fair, safe question or answer.
Couch with Scott, so
And he's upside down.
yeah, he's upside down. They played outside all morning, and now they're all tuckered out.
All right. Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org for Frosty and Fozzy. They need other dogs. IGPR.org for Andy. He needs another dog, possibly young children, but I don't think they're making that a requirement as of yet. Isn't that something? That's different, isn't it? And what do you think about Frosty with children? Is there? What do you think about that?
I would mirror what Reagan said for Fozzy. Older children would be appropriate. Frost is a gentle and rowdiness, like younger kids being rowdy, probably would be a little too intimidating to him.
Okay.
So he needs somebody who ability to be gentle and slow. There's his bark. But yeah, I mean, he does well in his crate. And actually, the first night he did grumble. And when I tucked him into bed, and then he woke up about 3:30 in the morning and grumbled a little bit more. And but since then, he actually has not. I'll put him in at night for bedtime, and he actually doesn't make a peep. So that's always helpful when the fact that Reagan and Jamie crate train these puppies so that when they go to their new homes, it helps so much with integration. I know that you talked about it on the show last time, but so he does great in the crate, and sometimes I have to put him in for a little bit during the day. So I just give him a good treat, and there's a particular treat I give him. So I hand it to him and he goes right in because he knows. So
And he takes it with him.
Yes, and I've just had him for exactly a week, so he learns very quickly and really is like, okay, I know what the expectations are. I want to meet them.
Does he? Which dog do you think he will end up mentoring him on this stage?
At my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tag team with my dogs because Artemis is the rule enforcer, but Samson is the one that they feel the most comfortable with because he's very non-threatening. So they'll come and snuggle with him on the couch. So that's right before the show when I grabbed my laptop, the boys were snuggling on the couch together. So, it's nice to have two mentors for him because they meet different needs and they help set up for success in different ways.
Okay. All right. Now let's move forward just a little bit here. And I want to bring Reagan back up. So I just want to briefly touch on fostering. Now, you've been fostering for many years, but they're your first foster with GPRS. Is that correct?
Correct.
And how's that going so far?
Directly. I'm sorry, say it again.
How's that going with GPRS so far?
They've been wonderful. They've been absolutely wonderful. I've learned a lot from them, and that's why I reached out initially. Is knowing the different traits of the breed. Everyone's been so thoughtful and informative, and as an organization, very communicative and just wonderful to work with. And
Okay.
and I love that because I have worked with numerous rescues for the past 25 years, and it's been wonderful. So it's
Right.
definitely something we would consider again.
Right. I'm going to bring Brenda up as soon as I unmute her here. There we go. And I'm going to ask you a similar question, because the reason I'm asking about this, because I saw one of your posts and somebody had commented asking about fostering for IGPR.
Yes, they did.
So how's now Andy's not your first rodeo.
No. I think he's my sixth. He's number 6 that I fostered. So
Okay.
we really like fostering. I mean, it's fun. I feel like we give them a good environment with other dogs. There's children, cats, like they get exposed to a lot of different people and animals. And so far I think Jane's great at matching a dog for your household. And like I
She
said,
is very good at that. And so's GPRS. I mean, so now here's 2 rescues on 2 different parts of the country with fosters that are happy with their rescues. And I probably Melise. That's Melise. She's the director and founder of the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society. And Jane, we talk about. That's Jane Rose. She founded and runs the Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue. Very personable person too. She's in contact with her fosters, just like GPRS. There's contact, and they're easy to get hold of. So now, Sydney, this isn't your first rodeo either, is it?
No.
No. But we've already talked about that on another show, because you keep fostering. That kind of speaks volumes now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've been fostering for a couple years now. I started out volunteering in another way, and I continue to do that too. But fostering was something I'd wanted to do for a long time, and I think the it's a privilege, really. But yeah, GPRS works really hard to make sure that they learn who the fosters are in their home, and what is suitable, and they match them up with dogs, and just remembering that a foster home is just a temporary situation. But they talk with the potential foster, to see what their experience level is, so they make sure to give them a dog they can handle. And if something arises, there's a huge network of volunteers to help support the fosters through the fostering experience when they're
That's
challenged.
very important.
Yeah.
Now, the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society loves your shirt. Imagine that.
I think they would.
Now, why is nobody complimenting my shirt? Oh, because they don't see it.
They can't get a good view. Yeah.
I got hairs all over my shirt. So it's not Hawaiian shirt, although it resembles it. But one of the Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana people, adopters, gave me this shirt. Now, I want to bring up this question that was asked, and I'm glad that Melise is on, because she can also have some input in this. You probably can't see that, Sydney, but it says, "Hi guys, this may be a little okay. You can see this.
Yep.
All right. It talks about trazodone for anxiety, etc. And now she lost her dog. I'm going to let's talk about trazodone and the Great Pyrenees. Number 1, this is a question for your vet. Okay, that would be my recommendation there. This is a veterinary question. Now, I've had experience with trazodone. Have you, Sydney?
No.
Okay. Here's the thing. As with any med, you can have a reaction. The dogs can have a reaction. That is a human med too. All right. So that's a crapshoot. All right. Now, if I don't know if you're suspecting that you lost your dog because of that. What trazodone is a human sleeping pill. Now, what it does to the dogs or for the dogs, well, I'm not 100% sure because I've never seen a study on it. This is and this is a med that has to be prescribed, and that's why this has got to be a veterinary question. Okay. Because we're just not qualified to give you any intelligent input on that. Right? I hope that helps at all, but that is definitely a topic to bring up to your vet too. So, because the trazodone had to come from a prescription. So, all right. Okay. But I did not want to ignore the question because she asked it while we were here. She was relying on us. And I hope that she does check with her vet. Okay. And you are very welcome, Sharon. That was a GPRS dog, she said. Okay. Do you remember the GPRS name, Sharon? And Sydney May recognized the dog. She adopted the dog in 2019. So, but at least Elise would recognize the dog. Anyway, we're going to move on. We have another dog that's not here.
Yes.
But wants to be here.
Yes. And we would love to highlight her.
So she has a video too. Imagine that. I'll tell you what, Granola is one good-looking girl, isn't she?
She is. Her primary breed is Great German Shepherd, but she is part Great Pyrenees too. And she's like a party girl. She's super fun, super playful. It's wild that she hasn't been adopted yet. But she lasts. I mean, she does have a lot of energy. She loves to play with other dogs, and she's very dog focused. So a great home for her would be somebody who has a dog who loves to play and wrestle. She would be a great sparring partner for that for another dog.
And it looks like if she misses the bed, that's okay too, right?
Yep.
That's a good-looking girl now.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah, she's an absolutely beautiful dog.
She is.
And
We
she
had her on
had,
the show about 5 months ago, back in
Yeah.
August.
Oh,
yeah,
is that scary?
yeah, and her ears, yes, she has very emotive ears. So they're so cute.
Yes. She can hold her. I didn't put any pictures up here of the good one where she holds her ear up.
Good boy.
Yeah.
She holds her left ear up sometimes, and the other one's down. And I'll tell you, this is a dog that if you're okay with a peer that doesn't even resemble a peer, this is your girl right here.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely, this is your girl. And oh yeah, Granola's ears are the cutest. Julie agrees. And even Melise, if that's Melise, said, and her ears are popping up. So fun and unique looking. Yep. Her ears are her big thing. The dog that came from GPRS was Lulu. Okay. That just passed, that they just lost. And I'm sorry about your loss, Sharon.
Yeah.
We really are. We feel your pain. The Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana is struggling with one right now too, little Fozzy Bear. They lost him, and he was young, and that was my boy. But so back to Granola. Do we know what kind of home she needs? It looks like she could be better off without cats because she annoys the cats.
Yeah, she doesn't need to hurt them. Is my understanding that she just
Sorry, Sydney.
has to play. She just thinks there's somebody else to play with, so she just kind of hassles them. And the cats don't very much appreciate it. So yeah, she definitely needs a bigger dog to roughhouse and play, and one that's energetic, because that's what she wants to do. She loves to play.
Is that dog laying on the other dog, Brenda?
Yes, Tucker is in Andy's spot. This is Andy's spot. Tucker's
Andy.
on the shoulder.
So what you're saying, doesn't matter who's there. If that's his spot, he's laying down.
That's his spot. Yep.
You gotta love it. Sorry, remember I told you, Reagan, about seeing something cute? You're coming back up.
Yep.
That would be just about like that right there. So that way everybody can see it.
Oh, that was an action shot.
But Sharon said thank you. She appreciates it. No problem, Sharon. Thank you for being on the shore. Maybe this is a Hawaiian shirt. Do peer mixes normally have strong barking instincts, or are they similar to peers? That's kind of a confusing question. Peers are the ones that have the strong instinct of barking because they protect by intimidation against the bark. Okay. And what I've been seeing over the years, a mix that has even a slight amount of Pyrenees in them, personality is typically Pyrenees. Okay. Because their personalities are so strong, independent thinking, etc. So that helps. But if you're looking at Granola, that'd be a perfect fit for you. And I don't even know you. Well, I take it back. We'll let the screeners decide that.
Yeah, the opportunity is, if you're interested in a dog that's at foster, you get to talk with the foster, and you can ask them all the questions that you have for that particular dog or puppy, and they're gonna tell you everything. They won't gloss anything over. They'll be really truthful. They'll tell you about the things that are just a total blast about that dog or puppy. They'll also share the things that are challenging about that particular dog or puppy.
I wouldn't say the peer is dominant. I would say it's just a strong personality. The thinking part of it, just most of it, and confidence. Most of the peers have quite a bit of confidence. And you will see this out of Frosty and Frosty too, as they continue to thrive.
You're scared of the fan.
But yeah, you can't. Peers, they're not for everybody. Okay, and but the last I heard, well, never mind. I'm not going to quote any GPRS policy because I get in trouble every time I try. So usually you don't have to be a peer owner to adopt from a lot of rescues. You have to be willing to learn. Okay. And capable. Capable's got to be in there too. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of candidates for the big butt contest, don't we?
Yes.
Andy, he's something else. There's nothing wrong with those hips.
No. Nope.
Just so don't tell him.
And now that all of his hair is grown back, his fur is long, you can't notice anything.
And Fozzy is just so adorable, isn't he? So, Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. Okay. That's for Frosty and Fozzy Boy. Now, keep in mind their official names are Fozzy Bear and Frosty Bear. Right?
Yes. I apologize. I realized I had a typo in what I put the name for Frosty Bear.
And that's, you can't mistake them. Okay. Now, do you? Okay, we'll start with Reagan. Do you think he knows his name?
Yes.
Okay. What about?
I mean, to a point, it was when they were both here. It was kind of just boys.
Okay. What about Frosty, Sydney? Do you think he knows his name?
I do.
Okay. Nice work. Both of you, all three of you, husbands included. So I like sometimes on the training calls we get on. Sometimes. Okay, we saw something cute. What was that?
Jasper didn't like that, so he told Andy to knock it off.
Okay. And how many dogs do you have there, Brenda?
I have 3 plus Andy, so 4.
So all 4 are right there.
Yes.
And the husky sure is kind of, a husky.
Yes. He's pretty good.
Now, Sydney, you have 2 other dogs. Well, 1 other besides the 2 we see. Isn't that correct?
Yep.
And that's Artemis. Now, isn't Artemis senior?
Yeah, she's 11 years old. Yeah, she's a Husky German Shepherd mix, and she's about 100 pounds. So she's a big girl.
Yeah. And Mr. Frosty gets along with both of them.
He does, yeah. And when Artemis, corrects him about something, he immediately stops.
I like how you said that. Everybody, viewers, try to remember, dogs correct dogs, not humans, because we screw it all up. Okay? It's always best if the dog corrects the dog, because we usually miss the moment. Remember, dogs live in the moment. So, but it's always better if we've got a dog in that position and the dog corrects him. That's actually a good thing. So,
yeah.
Now,
yeah. Last night, for example, it started raining here, and Frosty
in
was
Oregon.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah.
But Frosty was out playing in the rain, having a whale of a good time. And then he came in and he was totally soaking. And I went to tell him off, and it kind of freaked him out. And Artemis stepped in to tell him to calm down and to stop wiggling.
There we go.
Yeah.
And he did, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Now, what about Frosty? Now, you have more than just Poppy there, don't you?
I do. Correct.
And how does he do with your other dogs?
He's just fine. I keep them mostly behind barriers because my others are pretty small.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just
You don't want him to step on one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a wrecking ball situation. There's no ill intent ever with these guys. They're just they don't know how big they are.
Right. And look at that puppy look.
He's the best. He's so cute.
Does Frosty get some puppy look too?
Yeah, he does this really funny thing where he backs his butt into me and then turns his body in a circle so that his butt is touching my leg, and then he can also give me kisses.
Wow. So he's got weird joints.
He's at a very funny, like, gangly phase. And so,
wow.
Yes,
right.
It's adorable.
Okay, everybody. Well, it's been an hour, and that hour just flew by, didn't it?
Yes.
Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org and IGPR.org. Don't get confused. Well, if you go to IGPR.org looking for Frosty Bear or Fozzy Bear, you'll realize you went to the wrong place because they're not there. All right. Then you can just go over. But there's plenty of dogs there for adoption.
Yeah.
All right. And same thing if you go to Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org looking for Andy. Well, there's plenty of dogs there too. All right. So, wow, what a show today. Anything to add for closing, Sydney?
No, just thank you to everyone who came on with these beautiful boys, and for everyone who joined in and watching.
Okay. So we've had, don't forget Granola. That is one beautiful girl. And,
Yes, she is.
And, you know, she does well in water and probably next stop to Sofa. You never know. All right.
Yeah.
But so we have Frosty Bear, Fozzy Bear, Granola, and Andy. Thank you, Brenda and Scott, for coming on and overcoming that little technical glitch.
Thank you.
So I got to meet all of them, Scott, Andy, and Brenda. And was Andy the only dog you had with you that day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember. It was a busy day.
Yes. That
we
was
got
a
ready
good show that you did.
Yeah, the show. If anybody watched it, we started late because, well, we didn't have internet. Okay. And thank you, Debbie. Debbie was on with, oh boy, I'm going to die. She had the bonded pair, right, Sydney?
Yep. She had Plato and Pandora.
Yeah, that's who it was. Plato and Pandora last week.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we hope we can get Brenda back. Well, let's get Andy adopted so Brenda can take another foster and come back on with a new dog. Okay.
You know, Scott already has his eye on one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Brenda doesn't know it, but I'm going to try to talk her and Scott and going down to the Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue and do a show and feature some dogs there. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that was exciting.
Volunteer. They have volunteer at every second Sunday, and we usually drive down and go.
Right. And we would like to do the same thing at Great Pyrenees Rescue Society headquarters. Okay. With the Peer Rescue and Sanctuary, well, we get the grand tour just about every time they're on. So it works there. Right, everybody. We're going to call it a day. And boy, what a day. What a good show. I was happy. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Brenda and Scott, for bringing Andy on. Thank you, Reagan and Jamie, for bringing and just caring for these two dogs, because you actually brought them into rescue, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was our pleasure.
Fostering saves lives.
It sure does.
And sometimes right in the nick of time, too.
Yep.
So, Sydney, thank you so much. And next week, we will have Julie up here as a co-host. And
Yes.
if she still has Velma, we're going to get her on. All right. But Velma had a meet and greet. I don't know how it went. So, all right, everybody. Here comes the exit video. Bye now.